Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sips and Scripts. I'm your host, Justin.
And I'm your host, Kyla.
And we are here again with our October horror. Do we have a title for this yet?
No.
Okay, we're not that creative. So this week we're talking about year 2000 up to present day. So what our favorite horror movies are. We've got our top 5. Have not seen Kyla. She hasn't seen mine. So I'm actually going to start though, because I think I know the reaction I'm going to get with my number 5. My number 5 is 2007's Paranormal Activity. Yes, I like found footage. Not going to apologize for that. I enjoy it. I remember when I saw this movie in theaters, and it wrecked me. I'm not even gonna lie.
I put it on my list. I put it on my list because it's actually like the found footage that I actually enjoy.
Okay. So not quite top 5, but
not quite. Okay. Didn't make top 5, but it did make the list.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I remember when me and my mom's not a scary movie person, but we watched it for the first time, and it was late at night. We wanted to watch a movie. I wanted to watch a scary movie, and watching this movie, it was such a, I knew it was going to be found footage, but it was still something complete. We had never seen a movie like this.
For sure.
Just because it was so real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But watching it, you're like, okay, I know this is a real, but it just felt so real. The way that they shot everything, and even there's not all of them, the whole, I wouldn't say every single part of the series of the Paranormal Activity series was good. I mean, it all kind of, it's okay, yeah, I get it at this point.
Yeah.
But just the little something so little as having it be silent and you somewhat seeing something where you might think you saw something. It's those kinds of things that creep me out. When you can't see something, when someone's watching you and you're unaware of it. Those kinds of things creep me out.
For sure. I think they did a beautiful job of training the audience. So that's one thing that you learn with Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. You're trained not to fall in love with characters.
Right.
After the first season, you learn, nope, not gonna, I really like that person. But think that's an epic saga.
Absolutely.
This is an hour, 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that, and what I say by trained is, when you know it's at bed and you see the little ticker.
Yeah.
And here it comes.
Yeah.
And then it speeds up.
Yeah.
And then it stops. And you're here it comes. And then you're looking. You're gazing.
You're trying to you're trying to look peripherally, but
you're focused on the couple in bed, but every time you're hold on, whoa.
Right.
Oh, no. And you're and it's beautiful to think. And that's what makes you quiet. Mm-hmm. It makes you still. And then when it happens, you're oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, good job. You got me. And it's beautiful because you can just do that.
Over and over again.
For 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the last 20 minutes, throw it. And just say, all right, here it is. Demon's here now. Let's get, and it's beautiful. I think the first 3 are good. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think, which is the one, have you seen all of them?
I haven't seen all of them.
Okay, because there's one that ends very well with it's a different family that come into it. And I think after that, it kind of falls off the rails. So I don't know if that's 3 or 4, but, which is actually pretty good when you think about it. But that first one, there's just nothing. I mean, good God, and then when you think of when you have the subwoofers going and those, and you're just like,
yeah,
oh man, like you can feel it from behind you coming. Oh man. Nothing like it. So, personally, number 5, I know people are going to say, oh, blah, blah, what? I don't care. I like found footage, guys. I like it. It's fun. It makes
Fight him if you want to.
Try Jesus. All right. What's your number 5?
So, my number 5 is Jeepers Creepers.
No. I think here's what we do. We say our movie and then we'll let the person respond. And then you go into it. This is a really fun horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, when we watched this when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
13 years old when this movie came out.
I was going to say, she made a note to highlight that she was 13.
13 years old when this movie came out. So, we saw this when it came out. And... Again, we're morbid like that. We watch scary movies as a family.
Very Addams Family-esque.
We go to haunted houses as a family. Do all the kinds of stuff. As a family. Why not? But yeah, so this movie was kind of like a resurgence of Freddy Krueger for me. Like, as far as a character build up and like. It really...
Oh, okay. I think I see where you're going. Okay.
Yeah, the fact that there's a guy and, like...
If I may, it made you fall in love with the villain again. Being like, who is he? What is he about? As opposed to just a faceless killer.
Yeah, but also, like, that he is just, like, almost... unstoppable. Like you think to yourself like, okay, how does this end? Like this doesn't end well.
Yeah, because there's no like, we don't really get any lore about, well, if you dip this in virgin's blood and stab him, it's just kind of like every 23 summers he eats.
And this is honestly like, it's a movie that it doesn't have a happy ending. Like there's no. No,
I appreciate that.
The way and I appreciate that too. But because at the time, when we're kids, like we're used to like some of the movies we're watching having happy endings, and this one it was just like, no, it happened. Like, and you're just left there like, well, all right,
don't go driving through the heartlands. Yeah,
basically like that. So. Like just the whole like. The guy feeds on and had this whole like the scene with the whole like
that's crazy
Michelangelo-esque type of just like that just like as a child as a 13-year-old you're just like
when you let your mind go and then you're like wait every 23 years he gets to do this so that and you're like whoa and you do that math and you're like wait he's been doing this
and you could just be driving down the road. Mm-hmm. You're just they were just driving down the road. They weren't, two brother and sister. They were just driving.
If I may, they did honk at him.
Yes.
I'm not saying they deserved it. Right. I'm just saying.
Yes.
We know to keep driving.
Right. Had I seen that truck pull up behind me,
I don't care what he was throwing down that well.
I don't care what he was doing. I'd just be like, here you go, sir. You go right ahead. Let me park the red seat.
I was like, oh man, that's crazy.
You go on. Yeah.
So no, I get you, but no, that it is a fun movie because it is one of those things where you get lost in it because it's paced like an action movie, but it is a horror movie. So that's what makes it fun. Of a lot of movies, even like on my list, are slow burns of like we got to get to it, let's figure it out. This one is just, hey, we're driving, we're brother and sister, we kind of have a weird relationship. Oh, who's that guy? Gone.
Right.
Here's the movie. Like, it's an escape movie. It's a travel movie. It's a it's a lot of good stuff. So no, that's a great pick. That's a great. Good job, 13-year-old Kyla. Good pick.
Thank you.
Good pick. My number 4 is The Cabin in the Woods, 2016. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people will say, is this more like a comedy? It's a horror and it's a comedy. Those things do exist. And the reason why I love it is the mental. It just completely shatters the stereotypes, the archetypes that we've seen for years in horror movies. You have the pretty blonde, you have the dumb jock, you have the stoner best friend, you have the virgin, and then you have the guy who's a genius. And when you watch this movie and you see how they subvert that of like, well, why is it always that? Like, why is it that collection of people?
Right.
And then you realize, well, no, there's a big reason why. There's a whole story and all. You've seen it, right?
I've seen it. Well, I'll be honest. I don't really remember this movie very well. I've only seen it one time.
Okay. I would watch it just for the fact that how it plays to those stereotypes. And like, it just, I think it's just smart. Like, because they advertised it as just The Cabin in the Woods. This is just a straight up horror movie with Chris Hemsworth, Jesse Williams. This is just a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then when you got there, I think a lot of people were upset at first because they're like, I mean, one, it's funny. And then two, it's just like, you know, it's not what I thought.
Yeah.
But then I feel like as time has gone by, people are like, no. That movie was absolutely genius. Like, the way it plays with all of the tropes that we see in horror movies that make you say, like, why wouldn't the car start? Like, y'all drove all the way here, so what are you talking about? Or why won't y'all just leave? Or why, like, y'all just saw a dead body. Why y'all trying to have sex? And it's like, no, there's a reason why.
Right.
It's a whole big conspiracy why. This is explaining why. And it does it beautifully. Like, so that's my number 4. I could have fun with that movie. Like, it's one of those, if it's on, I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it. And, yeah, it's just a good time.
We'll die. Why do we put him there? The system. They have to choose to ignore him, and they have to choose what happens in the cellar. Yeah, we rig the game as much as we need to, but in the end, they don't transgress.
They can't be punished.
So,
yeah.
That's my number 4.
So, my number 4 is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Now,
I've only saw that once.
As far as like exorcism movies, like that was probably the one that started it off for me. I mean, I did see The Exorcist, but The Exorcist did not have a profound effect on me like it did, you know, like my mom or like, you know, people from when it came out. It probably had a huge effect on them. I mean, I talked to clients today that will say, "Oh my gosh, I can't watch it," whereas I watched it and I'm like, yep, this is exactly how I pictured this to be. But it's dated for me. So for them,
for sure.
What I like what I like in scary movies is when I feel like this could actually happen. Or this could
more grounded. I got you. Yeah.
Like, so this is a movie that was actually based on an actual events and an actual person. And so in knowing that makes it that much more scary for me.
Definitely ups the ante, for sure.
It does.
For sure.
So, and I can't remember the actress's name that plays Emily Rose, but she played in
White Chicks.
Yeah, like in which down the line when watching White Chicks, I'm like, that's the same girl. Like, so her acting chops, like, and her ability to be able to
she
because I've seen her. She did a series. She did Dexter. She was Dexter's sister. And I
never saw. I saw like one season of Dexter,
which is mainly a drama.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
Her ability to kind of bounce around from comedy to drama to horror, like her acting skills are pretty.
The biggest story that came out from that movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, is I remember they were saying a lot of the physical contortion was actually her.
Oh my gosh!
So they didn't use a lot of special effects,
right?
With her, which. Yeah, that creeped me out.
And her energy and her like she carried that movie very well.
Definitely.
I don't know that. I mean, honestly, I don't know that because her even just down to her facial expression when she's in those contortments and when they're like, it's almost like she changes into a completely different person.
Yeah, for sure.
And that movie to me had a more like, as far as like going into exorcism movies, that was probably the one that kind of hit me a little bit more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, that was definitely, because what were we, high school?
High school.
Junior, senior? So yeah, that was, and we were right around the age of, you know, the person, of Emily Rose. So, because she was what, like a freshman in college or something? So yeah, so that one definitely was oh man, like I'm about to go off and be an adult, but I could be possessed by Satan. Yeah, so that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'll probably have to revisit that one. So my number 3 is Train to Busan. Have you ever seen this one?
I have not seen that one.
It is on Netflix, so check it out.
I know. I was going to say, as soon as you said it, I was like, that's on Netflix.
Yeah, so 2016. I am not going to do any disservice by trying to pronounce the name, so I do apologize. But this is a zombie movie.
Weird about zombies.
So I am too.
I don't dislike them, but I'm not like
so here's
all gung ho about a zombie movie.
Here's the thing. When it comes to this movie, it is like, I won't say like most zombie movies, but like good zombie stuff, like let's say The Walking Dead first 4 seasons.
Okay.
It's about the people.
Right.
So Train to Busan is quite literally a father trying to get his daughter to safety, and they're taking the train to Busan.
Okay.
And zombies attack, and that's the movie. It
Okay.
is very much like a Mad Max Fury Road. We're here, we're trying to go there. That's it, and we got some stuff trying to keep us from it.
Okay.
So you won't get bogged down in the plot, but you see the arc of the father who, like most movies, you have the traditional, I'm all about my business, I'm all about being a professional, and then you see that break down to, at the end of the day, I'm a father.
Yeah, so he's like kind of like an absentee, like not an absentee father, but
no, I get what. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, like you just see him. He's just kind of like, hey, you know, just be quiet. Let me get on the phone. And then you see when it actually starts to happen, he's like, oh no.
He goes into full on.
I have to. Yeah. I will do whatever it takes to save you.
Yeah.
And so I think that is why, because this is actually very highly rated. Like a lot of people love this movie. And it's not because of the zombies, it's not because of the effects, it is because of that story. Just at the bare knuckle, just I will do whatever it takes to keep you safe. And that's I mean, I couldn't recommend it enough for someone, but because it's not hard to find. Like some of these movies, you either have to buy or they have to go on a streaming service. Most people have Netflix. It's on Netflix. Definitely check it out. Train to Busan. It's a fantastic film.
Okay, I'll put that on my list. On my
heartbreaking ending.
Oh. Okay, I don't know. That might trigger me. I don't know if I can watch that right now. Well, we'll see. I'll put it in the list.
Okay,
I will put it in the list.
Put it in your queue and just decide.
So that brings me to my number 3, right? Yeah. So number 3 is, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm gonna say
the witch.
It's
People
the witch.
say the vitch just to be fun, or the vitch just to be funny, but it's the witch.
It's the witch. Watch that in theaters by myself.
Wait, what?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah.
If I had a time machine, I would go back to that decision you made and stop you.
Well,
because that's nuts. Did you get stood up or something?
No, I like to go to sometimes I like to go to the movies by myself.
Oh no, I go to the movies by myself. I don't go to horror movies by myself.
Yeah. No, I think I just had a wild hair at my and I was just like, I want to go see it, and
That's
nobody was
nuts.
available to go see it with me, so I was just like, I really want to go see it, so I'm gonna go see it. And yeah, that wasn't the greatest decision.
No way.
I'm not even 30 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, here we are.
No,
we're gonna see this through.
Life comes at you fast with that movie.
Yeah, just the build of it and the act, and then the morbid, just the scene. Like, you don't even have to see it a lot. Like, it's not gory. Like, it's not like it's.
Oh no, it's a psychological.
It's very much a psychological, but even like it's a.
It is. No, it is. It's no. I in a theater. God.
Yeah, it was
nuts.
it was amazing in the theater. Oh my gosh! There were people around me that we were all just kind of like, oh shit.
Oh no, that's the best part about watching a horror movie in theaters is you make friends with the people around you.
Oh
because
yeah,
you're in that together. Like, no, that
like everyone was just like, what the hell are we watching? What the hell is going on? Like,
no,
did we really?
No, that's nuts.
Yeah.
No, this is so here's the thing. Yeah, The Witch just so. My favorite time period is the Salem witch trials, because it actually happened.
It actually happened.
That's nuts. When you actually look at all that happened and all that occurred, it is absolutely nuts. The cool thing about The Witch is it actually happens before the Salem witch trials. It's actually the stuff that happened that led to the Salem witch trials. Right. So, when I first watched it, I was just kind of like, wait, I thought it was about the Salem witch trials, and it is not. There's not a single judge and gavel there at all. It is just, but when you think about it, and then that actually is kind of cool because of it's the buildup, like you were saying, the buildup of well, how did that happen? And then you see how it happened. Those are always the really good ones. And
I like the little things that they put in, or like even just down to like, I'll just throw out the goat. Didn't even put 2 and 2 together till like towards like the last like 30 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, where they kind of just wrap it all, like they're kind of like tying everything together, and you're like, like, I was like, why did I not see that coming? Like, it just...
Answer me.
What dost thou want?
Yeah, no, this movie keeps you on edge the whole time, and it is... Oh, man, yeah.
Like, characters become characters that you didn't think were going to become characters. Like...
Yeah, no, this is, and it's so, but, you know, it's weird. It's beautifully done because it's about one woman.
Yes.
And her decline, her transformation, her... But it's set to this family. So, you know, you start with a full family. And then we're left with one. And by the end of it, you're like, well, what's going to happen? And then you're like, oh,
right.
Are you serious?
Right, yeah.
Like, she's not, and you're like, oh, man. And then it just ends. And then you're left being like, so witches are real. So that's how that happened. So yeah, no, that's a great pick.
Thank you.
Completely terrifying movie. Excellent. Well done. My number 2 is a 2003 French film. Yes, I Am Bourgeois. That movie is called High Tension. This movie is all kinds of I'll just tell you. So basically, we are set in this farm town or farmland in France. There's these 2 women.
What time period are we in?
Present day.
Oh,
well,
okay.
it's 2003, but present day. So it's not where they go to the university together. the friend takes the main character back to her home. Mm-hmm. She's like, you just come with me to the farm and, just see how my family lives. There's a bit of sexual tension, but it's not
overt.
Yeah, so that's not really a thing. Mm-hmm. But we do know that the main character, who is Marie, she is physically attracted to her female roommate. So they go to the house. Mm-hmm. Dinner, family, nice, drinks, just fun.
Yeah.
Then an intruder comes in.
Okay.
And this isn't a spoiler. Murders the entire family. And then he chases Marie for the next hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I just told you that because that is not a spoiler. The spoiler...
Okay.
There is nothing like the first time you see this movie. Because you're just there and you're like, get it, come on. And then it happens and you're like, what? Like, you're like, hold on.
Okay.
And you're like, wait, hold on.
Is it subtitled?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And so you're just like, nah. And you're like, wait, hold on. What did it... Huh? It's a movie that has stuck with me. I think I saw this 2005-ish, 2006-ish. And I talk about it whenever I talk about horror movies. Okay. It's so, and it was a foreign film. So even I give myself a thing about being a film nerd. I've never been that into foreign films that much.
Yeah.
I've seen my fair share, but I've never just go and seek them. So when I saw this movie and it started and I was like, wait, subtitles? And I was like, dang.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of subtitles.
But if
it's a great movie,
as it was
subtitles
going,
don't matter.
Well, because here's the thing, it's a chase story.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of
dialogue.
I did, and then
right.
So why? And even the big coup de grace, you're like, you don't need words. When it happens, you're like, did that, and you're like, oh man, it's worth it.
Okay.
You can try to find it. I don't even know where you could find it. I'll be honest with you.
Amazon might have it.
Probably. But.
Pourquoi, étoile? Hendrix? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Mais c'est pourquoi?
High tension French film. I know you have to read while you watch something. I apologize, Americans, but it's fine. It's a solid film. It is, and it's a solid film. It starts off super super gory though. So because he butchers the family.
Okay.
And it almost lost me because I was like, I don't want any part. But then as it goes, you're like, okay, well it calms down a bit, but fantastic film.
Okay. So that brings me to number 2. So my number 2 movie is, which I know when I say this, people are gonna probably not think horror maybe, but Split is
I will give you that.
Horror.
Yeah, it's listed horror thriller. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Great film.
Gosh, James McAvoy. I think I saw, and I'm pretty sure I saw this in theaters. Pretty sure I did. James McAvoy, man. I think when I saw it, I couldn't have sung his praises more. I was just like, if he doesn't get an Oscar for this role, that is I don't need to watch the Oscars anymore. Because I don't that doesn't make any sense to me. The way he was able to seamlessly play this character as if he was born for it. And make it believable.
I mean, he's never turned in a bad performance, even with those horrible X-Men movies. But he's never been bad. Oh, no, we're not having this conversation.
I'm not saying I liked the X-Men movies, but I liked his performance in those movies.
That is fair. When you think about everything that he has to do in that movie, I think It's weird because it feels like it would be an actor's dream, but then it feels like it would be an absolute nightmare.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's almost like you have to hit it right.
Yes.
Or you're going to sit there and be like, oh my God, this is the 5th time I've had to do this. He
had to be several different characters with several different dialects and different, like... Afflictions, different mentality, different,
body movement, body control.
Yeah.
The whole nine. So that's why I'm saying it seems like it would be a dream on paper to be like, oh, I can just go nuts and just be anything.
Oh, a character like that would scare the crap out of me.
I was gonna say, but then all it would take for me is one time for M. Night to be like, hey, can we do that again? I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Or I'll just do the woman this time. And you make sure that's good.
Yeah.
And then for him to just be like, no, I'm just gonna I would love to see him do that.
Yeah.
Because I would be curious, does he chop it up or is he just like, no, what is this, 10 pages? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll knock it out real quick.
And I think, and I don't know if this is true, but I followed like this film page on Instagram, and I think they did like a post about where Samuel L. Jackson was watching James McAvoy go from character to character, and he was just like,
yeah, what are you doing?
Who is this?
Yeah.
With regard to Jahamana's defeat and Muhammad of Ghor's conquest between 1192 and 1200, I ate my insulin shots. No one else around here has to take them. Why do I have to? Diabetes. I'm wearing cargo pants from the 90s. And a scarf. If it wasn't for the Varvatos t-shirt underneath, I'd be a mess.
No, it's nuts. I mean,
I don't know if you guys have noticed a trend for me when it comes to like my movies and what I like, but mental health, kind of like in the way, and not necessarily in mental health, but just the mentality and how the character is created.
Gotcha.
Is an actual
for
personality.
sure.
Disorders are an actual thing. Like, these are actual,
yeah,
the characters that resonate with me are actual characters that could possibly exist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I get you.
His character, they are doing studies on people that are like this.
For sure.
So, yeah, just the fact that he was able, and I was tense the entire movie.
Yeah, because and I love that build up of the beast.
I love that because you never knew
if they actually would do it, and then when you see it, you're like,
it's just like, oh my god,
yeah, wait, hold on.
If you actually met someone like that,
if
you actually met someone that would be horrifying. No,
that's true. No, that's a great movie. This isn't the podcast to litigate thriller versus horror.
To me, thriller and horror go hand in hand.
I agree, but
to me,
I will say this: I omitted one of my favorite movies of all time because I consider it more of a thriller. Mm-hmm. It has horror aspects, but that is Jordan Peele's Get Out. I omitted it because I just think it is more.
See, when you Google
horror, thrillers come up.
Yeah.
Thriller, suspense, all of that comes up. I think I was just leaning more towards things that are more of the supernatural aspect.
Okay.
So that's my line of distinction. We maybe could have talked about that at the front. That's my line of distinction between horror, thriller, suspense.
Gotcha.
Horror has a sense of supernatural or straight slasher.
Yeah.
I think is horror.
Right.
So that's why Scream was on my list before because it's a slasher film. Mm-hmm. But Get Out is sci-fi thriller suspense film.
Right.
So, but I whatever. But that's the only reason why, like I said, Get Out wasn't on my list. It hurt me. I wanted to put it on there, but I was like, let me go more traditional horror type stuff. So that brings us to our number one. You may be like, well, hold on, Justin, you went first, so it's your number one and then hers. We have the same number one, and that is 2018's Hereditary.
Peter! What's wrong?
Ari Aster is of the devil. I'm just kidding. He's probably a lovely man, but
oh God, I don't know
the mind of someone to take. That was the thing about Hereditary that really messed me up. Is I knew exactly what he was saying, and I was like, man, that is a beautiful story of guilt. It's a beautiful story of passed down trauma. It's a beautiful story of like neglecting yourself and your needs. And he just turned it into the scariest movie I've seen in years.
This was also a movie that I watched by myself.
What is... wait. Were you in the theaters?
No, I was at home.
Okay, so no, I watch horror movies by myself.
No, I generally, when I'm at home, if it's different for me when I'm out in a theater watching it than when I'm at home. To me, it's almost more scary when I'm at home by myself watching it.
Oh, no, it can be. Yeah, I try to definitely strategically place myself in a room to where my back isn't open, because then I'm like, it'll grab me, whatever it is, whatever I'm watching. But no, I remember when I watched this movie, and the whole time I was like, yeah, no, this is creepy. This is pretty creepy. And then it builds and builds, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is ratcheting it up. And then you get the backstory, you're like, oh man, we're dealing with cult stuff. All right, getting a little
out there.
And then the last 15 minutes.
I was gonna say 15 to 20 minutes of the movie.
I literally jumped off. I jumped off the couch.
I had to pause. I had to press pause because I was just like, oh, okay. I need to breathe. Yeah. I need to take a break. There were so many moments just within the last 20 minutes that I was just like, oh my God, this is gonna last. Like, this is going to stay with me for a few days. This isn't something that's going to leave.
Oh no, I was completely shooken when I got done watching this film.
Yeah, I was shook. I was shook too.
I mean, oh, man, what is that? When the father gets spoilers, when the father gets set ablaze.
Oh gosh, yeah.
First, it was just like, whoa, the fuck, that was that.
Yeah.
But after that moment, everything else that happens completely rocked me.
For me, in that scene, it wasn't him being set ablaze, it was her reaction where she immediately went straight face, and I was just like, I got the hair.
Oh no, Tony!
We have on the back of my neck.
We have to give proper credit to Toni Collette. Oh my God, you should have been nominated for an Academy Award for that movie.
Try again. Release yourself.
Oh, release you mean?
Yeah, fine. Release me. Just say it. Just fucking say it.
Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Do you understand? All I do is worry and slave and defend you, and all I get back is that fucking face on your face! So full of disdain and resentment and always so annoyed. Well, now your sister is dead!
Absolutely.
Unreal. The
hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I was like, "Oh, this is about to get real." This is like I thought it had gotten real when he got set on fire, but that didn't even cut it. That's just the beginning.
No, once she then
like a light
gives
switch.
her once you give yourself up to the thing that you've been fighting, it completely takes over you, and it's just like, but again. It's like, okay, that's a beautiful concept.
Yeah,
but...
and then the whole play on the silence. Oh, man. Silence and the amount of that silence went on. It seemed like forever.
Oh man, when the son is walking through the house,
and when it's all visual. I don't know. I'm trying not to give so many spoilers in it, but when she's on the wall, and I'm just like, and I'm like.
Oh yeah, no.
It's when, and I'm at mind you, I'm watching this at home alone, and I'm like, and he's at home seemingly like a lot. It's like it's that like I can't remember when I paused it, but I was just like, I gotta stop, or I need to do something. I don't know. I think I got on like social media and started watching like some funny
cat
movies
videos.
Or so. Yeah, I was like, I need to mentally take a break.
I distinctly remember after watching that movie, I walked upstairs to my lovely wife, and she was like, "How was your movie?" And I said, "I am not okay." And she was like, Whitney. "What?" And I was like, I was literally like, I'm shaking right now. And she was like, "What?" And she's like, "Was it?" I was like, "No, it was fantastic. It was
great.
Beautiful." I was like, "It's beautiful."
Like, it's such a good movie.
I'm like,
I don't know that I could watch it again. I'll be honest.
No, I was like, it's a beautiful movie, and I was like, and I understand everything he was saying.
Yeah.
I was like, it was not lost on me. Everything he said, and I was like, I am not okay. Like, but that's why we watch horror. I don't want to watch a quote unquote horror film and be like, okay.
Right.
This is a story about real emotion and real life trauma, and again, that the quote, like the family curse of passed down
generational
trauma,
trauma,
and what do you do with it, and denying it for so long, and what happens when you finally give into it, and so it's all of these things from my top are just things that stick with you, things that you hold on to, and you're like, okay, I am forever changed because I watched this.
Hereditary, generational trauma. I feel like everybody in America right now has experienced generational trauma.
Definitely.
But Hereditary just took it to a whole nother level.
For sure.
For me. But definitely something that, like, for me is, like, believable. Like, I can, not that, people, like, you can choose to believe in supernatural and all that stuff when it comes to, like, religion and stuff like that. But it's, but it's definitely believable for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think that's excellent. And I mean, I think that's the beauty of horror is you can kind of, there's what the director or what the writer, I guess, puts out there, and then there's what you take from it.
Right.
And I think the ones that stick with you are the ones that you can take something and kind of apply it to your life, and just carry it with you. So that's our top 5. I am excited for the stuff that's coming up.
Me too.
So I'm excited for the new horror, and I mean, you got your Ari Aster, you've got your Jordan Peele's, you got a lot of horror directors who are coming up in the ranks, and who've got a lot to say, and I'm excited to see kind of what happens. So guys, as always, it's been a great time with you. We appreciate you watching. Like, share, subscribe, and as always, be good.